Hi, it's me, it's Monica, and this video is going to answer the question, where do you get your shoes? So I get asked that quite often, especially once girls find out that I'm a bigger girl, right? That I'm 5'10" without shoes, that I'm about 230 pounds, and that I have these massive 13.5 US women's size feet. Men's shoes, I wear a 10 and a half. Granted, for a man, that's still a big foot, not crazy. But when it comes to buying women's shoes and you're a 10 and a half in men's, which makes you a 13 and a half in women's sizes, here in the US, it basically becomes virtually impossible to find shoes. So, not that it's never happened. There's been a couple occasions. One time when I was in Hawaii, I walked into a store and they actually had shoes in my size. Every once in a while, I'll hit like an out of the way antique or boutique style place, some type of vintage shop, and they'll have a shoe that big, right? If I go to Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, pretty much any retail store, usually they stop about at 10. Sometimes, rarely, you can get up to a 12. But anything past a 12 at a retail shop is pretty much an impossibility, right? So basically, I'm limited mostly to online. Again, look for shoes if you've got bigger feet, especially if you're over 10 or, God help you like me, you're over 12. Keep an eye out when you're out there in the shops, in the stores. But again, more times than not, 99% of the times you go to look at shoes, you're not going to find anything in your size. But there's a lot of great online resources, right? Keep in mind that because they're specialty sizes, your shoes are going to be way more expensive, right? My wife, she wears, I think it's an 8. My wife wears an 8. She can sometimes do an 8.5, right? My mom's a 9. My aunt is an 8. My grandma, I think she's a 6, right? So when you have feet those sizes, you can go and you can buy shoes anywhere, right? Like literally any type of mall shop, any type of mom and pop, any fast fashion, Forever 21, H&M, kind of any of those places that sell shoes, you'll be able to find shoes super, super, super cheap, right? You could get a pair of heels like what I am wearing right now. You could find these for $10 out there, maybe even cheaper than that, right? Shoes I'm wearing right now, these were actually about $35, and that's a super, super, super steal for shoes my size, right? So when you get up into these specialty sizes, your cheapest you're going to ever find a pair of shoes is $29.99, but realistically, most of them are going to be at least 35 and on up, right? I have shoes that were 40, 45, 50. I have shoes that I've paid $65 for a pair of shoes just because they're in that, bigger size. So now let's answer the question. Where do I get my shoes, right? Where do I buy my shoes? So there's a few sites, right? One site that I check quite frequently is shoes.com. It's kind of one of those sites where they have a bunch of different styles, men, women, kids. You can buy shoes for just about anybody. But one of the nice things about shoes.com is when you get into the women's sizes, they actually will go up to 14, 15, 16. So usually I can find a 13, 13 and a half. Every once in a while, I end up being a 14, but usually they fit kind of a little bit loose. 13s are pretty snug, so I try to find that 13 and a half. Though a lot of shoes when they get that big, they don't have those half sizes. So shoes.com is a great resource. Be sure to check them out. Their site's great, and you can do a lot of sorting. Again, they're going to be more expensive because they're bigger size shoes. They're specialties. They're considered specialty sizes. So, they don't do mass production runs, so they're going to end up costing you a lot more. Another site that I use is amiclubwear.com. amiclubwear.com is an amazing site. If you're a club girl, if you're a dancer, you're a stripper, you do any type of escort work or cam, work, they're an amazing site for you. They have super sexy, super cute, I want to say super inexpensive, right? They have decently priced stuff. Regular price stuff is a little pricey. The sale stuff is decent, but every once in a while they have some amazing clearances, and you can get some awesome shoes, clothes, accessories, things like that at amazing prices. So I have more than a few pairs of shoes. My clear stripper heels that I got from AMI Clubwear. Some of my pleaser shoes I got from AMI Clubwear. It is a great site, so be sure to check that out, amiclubwear.com. So the other two that I always check, again, it depends. They can be kind of pricey, right? Is Amazon and eBay. Okay, so Amazon.com, and you have to know who Amazon is at this point, or you have to have bought something from them probably. They do sell shoes. They do sell shoes in bigger sizes. Amazon versus eBay, Amazon's going to be more expensive. Usually it's a more local seller, and your quality is going to be a little bit better usually on Amazon. But again, it's going to be more pricey, and kind of your selection is a little bit limited. But if you go into the search bar on Amazon and, like you say, platform heels size 13.5, platform heels size 12, platform heels size 14, you're going to get a pretty good selection to choose from. Again, price wise, it's going to be kind of expensive, but I definitely would check out Amazon. Now, the other side of that is eBay, ebay.com, which everyone's probably familiar with them as well. That was originally like that bidding site. They still do items, where you bid and you do bid wars to get an item, some type of like vintage or novelty, item. But they also have a lot of brand new clothing items on eBay. A lot of the stuff comes from China, realistically. There is some local vendors that have some really cute stuff. You can buy some shoes on there. They're going to be a little bit more expensive if it's a US vendor. But the same thing is with Amazon. If you put in platform shoes, size 14, platform heels, size 13, wedge size 13, any type of those searches there for the type of shoe that you're, looking for, platform sandal, size 13 and a half, you're going to get a good selection up on eBay. Again, the stuff that's going to come from China is going to be way more inexpensive. We're talking 30 to 35 to 40 instead of, 50 to 70. It makes a big difference. They're they're not name brand. They're just like knockoff, like little, like put together, like little shoes, like the ones that I'm wearing right now, that I paid about 35 bucks for these. These in a pleaser, like a name brand, a US brand, those are going to be 50, 60, 70 bucks. So it is worth it to check out eBay. Again, that's another great site. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is actual Google shopping. So if you're on your Google search engine and you put in platform shoe size 13 and a half, you're going to get some search results. If you go to the tabs at the top and you select shopping, there's going to be a list of vendors. You'll see pictures of the shoe. To the right, there's the description of the shoe, kind of the vendor, a button to go visit their site. You can see some of the prices there. So it's a hodgepodge. The thing with Google is you can do that search Monday and then do it 2 days later, and you're going to get totally different vendors, right? You're going to get totally different suggestions. So it's good in that there's a bigger variety. It's bad in that, if you buy something from Amazon or eBay, you're kind of a little bit more protected. You kind of have a little bit more of a guarantee that it's a legit sender, a legit seller. They're going to have a good product at I want to say a good price, but at a reasonable price. When you do the Google shopping, you have to be a little bit more careful because it's a search engine. It's aggregating from all over the world. There could be scams and things like that. So you just have to be cautious, just have to be careful. Usually you can tell when you go on a site if it's a legit site, if it's a legit, kind of seller and you're actually going to get the item. If possible, whenever you're buying online, and I might make a video to talk about this as well separately, use your credit card. If you have a credit card, use your credit card, because the big deal with the credit card is if the item never shows up, all you have to do is call the credit card company and they handle the rest of it. If you use your debit card and the money comes direct out of your checking account or your savings account, you have to deal with your bank, and that's a whole nother nightmare. Like I said, I'll make another video to talk about that. But anyways, just wanted to answer the question, about where I buy my shoes. Those are some great sites for you to check. Again, it's shoes.com, amiclever.com, amazon.com, ebay.com, and then check Google. Check that Google shopping tab, put it in the search engine, and see what you get. I think if you're looking for shoes, especially if you're looking for shoes, in bigger sizes like me, where you just have trouble finding shoes out there in the world, shopping online is really the best way to go. So feel free to reach out to me. It's Monica Ann Hart. You can Google me and I'll come up. You'll see some pictures of me and some links to my social media. I'm on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, VK, Instagram, YouTube. If you're watching the video, comment under the video. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I post new videos. Feel free to reach out to me on direct message. Let's talk fashion, let's talk style, let's talk anything you'd like. I love books, I love movies, I love cars. Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about. I look forward to hearing from you.